That good to make it earlier because, well, it's closed too, huh? Closed early today?
Yeah.
It closed at 5.
Yes.
Yeah, the traffic gets so bad.
Yes.
Okay, how do I start this one? Or do you want to start it now? Can we change the camera?
分享一下。
Does it have to be on the front camera or can you get it backwards?
可以那个边。
Okay, good. So it's already.
Yeah, shall we start?
I'm ready when you're ready.
欢迎大家收看卓一迦南 JoyCan 的 VIP 访谈，我是 Jing。JoyCan 是一家旨在帮助中国学子在海外就业的跨境教育公司，为广大中国学生和家长提供职业规划咨询以及就业机会。今天为大家请到的是美国 NBA 全明星 James Donaldson 先生，他与中国有着怎样的联系呢？Today we are honored to have former All-Star player, business consultant, entrepreneur, book author, founder of Therapy Center, and even once candidate of mayor of Seattle, James Donaldson, who now puts his emphasis on business education and nonprofit. First of all, thank you so much for offering us this opportunity today. JoyCan is an education startup founded by lawyer Jack Ding. We help Chinese students land internships and jobs overseas by providing career skill training and consulting service. Today is the 7th VIP interview on Ink Live. The audience can watch our conversation and comment in real time. So please feel free to comment on anything you want to ask, and we will be collecting the questions at the end. Okay, so could you please introduce yourself to our audience first?
Yeah, well, thank you. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today and join you on your broadcast. As I was introduced, my name is James Donaldson, and I've lived in the Seattle area, Seattle, Washington, for many, many years, about 30 years or so. I'm a graduate of Washington State University. And so I've been up in this northwest part of the United States for a long time. I've been a professional NBA basketball player for many, many years, mainly through the 1980s and 1990s, and I retired in 2000. And also a small business entrepreneur with a business called the Donaldson Clinic, which is an outpatient orthopedic physical therapy clinic. North in the north suburbs of Seattle in Mill Creek. So we've been doing that for about 27 years now. So it's a long-running business, very successful, doing very well. And it's one of my passions is health and fitness and exercise, and to work with people to be stronger, to be better, to have rehabilitation services after surgeries and different kind of problems they may have physically. And so that's what we do with our physical therapy clinic. I stay very involved with Seattle, but also over the last 5 years, I've been very involved with your wonderful country of China. I spend about 6 months a year in China. Yeah, and mainly in Beijing, but I go to a variety of cities in mainland China as well, working with study abroad programs for the Chinese students. Mainly with Tsinghua University in Beijing, but also Shandong University and Weihai and several other universities and many, many, many high schools throughout mainland China. So I go to the schools, I speak to the students about the wonderful opportunity to come to America to study and to look for opportunities and to do all those wonderful things, cultural exchange programs and everything else. And then also I'm doing basketball training as a former basketball player. I still love the game of basketball, and it's a wonderful thing for the children in China. So we have the retired NBA players come to China, and they do the basketball camps and the coaching and training, and everybody has a wonderful time with that.
Very impressive. How did you know JoyCan in the first place?
Well, I learned about it through Jack Ding. Jack Ding is a very good friend of mine, and we worked together on several projects already. He is in Beijing currently, but he comes back and forth to the Seattle area as well. He's a graduate of University of Washington,
Yes.
but no hard feelings, because I'm a Washington State University graduate. But we get along very well. We're very good friends, and so Jack introduced me to JoyCan.
So Seattle, San Diego, LA, New York, and even Europe, you have lived and worked in so many cities around the world. So what made you decide to return to Seattle? And what did you consider when comparing the locations of career development?
Well, I tell you, I've had the opportunity to travel all around the world and to live in many, many wonderful places. Spain, Italy, Greece when I was in Europe, and also all around the United States, as you mentioned, some of the other teams I've been with in New York and Dallas and San Diego. There's no place it seems like Seattle. Seattle has everything here. The 4 seasons of the year, great weather, very, very clean, very little pollution. We are having trouble right now with traffic, but other than that, everything else is just a wonderful city. And I always say to myself when I travel around the world that there's no place better that I've found so far than Seattle, Washington. And also it offers a lot of great opportunities. Seattle has become a high-tech kind of point, a hub, yes, for a lot of great companies like Microsoft and Amazon and so many other wonderful companies right here in Seattle, Washington. So this is a great place to be.
As a very recent news, Kevin Durant is joining Golden State Warrior from the Thunders. He's already an all-star before joining the Warriors, and it is a huge decision in terms of his career development. What would you consider in a similar situation?
Well, if I was in a similar situation, you know, he wants to win championships now. He's been in the NBA for almost 10 years, and he's come close to winning championship, but now he wants to overall create a better opportunity to win a championship. And he can do that with Golden State Warriors. The Warriors won the championship 2 years ago, and they have a very good, very young team, very talented team. So he will be a great addition to that team, and I think they will compete for the championship at least for the next 5 years. So I see Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors probably winning 1 or 2 championships in the next 5 years.
Okay. Your professional profile is so versatile. You have made a lot of achievements already. What is your ultimate career goal?
Well, it's hard to say other than just try to be successful at everything I do. I think a lot of that mindset comes from being a competitive athlete in sports over the years, where especially at the collegiate and the professional level, we are trained to really push ourselves to be the best we can be. And, you know, there's always going to be somebody better. There's always going to be another company that's, you know, making more money or being more successful. But, you know, I think the important thing to learn is that if you really apply yourself and do the best that you can do, then that's success. And that's really where you want to be. You want to be happy with what you're doing. You want to be, you know, having a good time with what you're doing and have fun with it, but also work hard at the same time. So whether it's basketball or writing books and being an author or being a speaker or being a physical therapy clinic owner, all those things I really try to be the best I can be.
You are the president of All Star Flyers, an after-school program in Beijing, as well as consultant of Tsinghua University. You must know a lot of Chinese.
Yeah.
What are some of the characteristics you found when working with your Chinese colleagues and employees? And what are some of the things that they can be more aware of?
Yeah, well, I've been very impressed with the Chinese people and Chinese culture in the 5 years I've been there. The Chinese people work very, very hard, and they study very hard. They always want to be number one in their classroom, and that's great. You know, I wish more American students would take this mindset as well. But this is why I work, and I enjoy working with the study abroad programs for the Chinese students, because you know, they study hard in China, they come to America, they study very hard, they want to be the best, and they take that information and that degree from the university they go to, either back to China or stay here in America, and they can really make great career opportunities out of that. So I've really enjoyed the culture, the people, the food, the travel around China, and I'm learning more and more. I'm trying to learn Mandarin Chinese now. It's difficult, but I'm learning a few words here and there, and one day I hope I can have a real good conversation in Mandarin.
So is there anything that you noticed that we can be more aware of, that we can improve?
Well, China has a long, long history of tradition and culture, much, much longer than America. 10 times longer, at least 15 times longer. And I think when the Chinese people come to America, they have to be open-minded enough to accept some of the American ways of doing things. And sometimes that's true, sometimes that's not. Especially for the older people from China. They come to America and they want to stay with the Chinese people and the Chinese communities, and they don't want to go out and speak to the American people. But I think for the young people, the students especially, it's very, very good to see them mingle with the American students, make American friends. A lot of times they end up in American relationships with American people, get married to Americans, and I think that's all really good things that happens. And I encourage, especially the young people, to continue keeping an open mind and you know, observing and adopting the ways of America as you come to America.
That's a common thing that all our VIP have commented on.
Yeah,
For the Chinese students.
Yeah, and it's also very important to learn the language, learn the culture in America, and if you don't know how to speak English well, you're going to have a challenge, going to be a problem. Yes.
Do you also do English training in China?
I don't do the training myself. I have American teachers who come to China, and they can do the English training with the children. Many times I work with international classes at the high schools in China, and in those international classes they have foreign teachers from America usually who teach English, who make sure that the children have a really good English proficiency, which is going to be very important if you come into America to go to university.
Summer vacation is a good time to take break, to discover ourselves, and to make goals and achieve them. Is there any last words you want to share with us?
Well, I continue to encourage the Chinese students to get involved with cultural exchange programs. Come to America for 2 or 3 weeks in the summertime. Take some intensive English courses, learn English better, see different parts of America. Many times the Chinese students want to see either the West Coast or the East Coast, but they forget about all the inside of America also. Down south, up north, in the Midwest. There's a lot of great places in America that even though they don't have large Chinese populations right now, it's great to see these parts of America and learn the history and the culture of America as well. So I encourage the students to continue to come for the cultural exchange programs anytime you can come. And I also try to find American students who will go to China and do the same kind of cultural exchange and learn about Chinese culture and Chinese people and Chinese food and all of these great things China has to offer. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of American students right now who want to go to China, but we have a lot of Chinese students who want to come to America, and that's good.
Is there any questions from the audience?
No, not a lot.
Qihan, do you have any questions for James?
I'm actually very interested, like when you were writing the book, what was the title of the book again?
Standing above the
Standing
crowd.
above the
Yes,
crowd.
yes.
So what was the one obstacle that you find while writing? Because it sounds like a really big project to
Yeah.
just stay there and write it.
Yeah, it took me 1 year to write the book. Maybe 6 months to write the book and another 6 months to
Like rewriting.
complete everything, edit it, put it all together, and figure out how to make something out of this book. I think the biggest thing is, you know, we all have a lot of thoughts in our head that we have to write down on paper and put down on a paper form and then into a text for the book. And, you know, you have to just apply yourself at least maybe 30 minutes a day to sit down and do write, think, write. And before you know it, you have a stack of paper ready to go. And then it's time to edit all that together and put it into a book form. I work with a book coach who really taught me how to write books. Now I have a couple of other ebooks now also, in addition to the hard book with Standing Above the Crowd. And with that, Standing Above the Crowd is really an inspirational, motivational book where I'm trying to show people that, yes, I had a 20-year professional basketball career, 25-year small business career. I've been in Seattle for 30 years and doing a lot of great things in the community. And all of these things have similarities as far as, you know, things in common of working hard and having a vision and staying focused and making sure that you're trying to be the best that you can be, not only for yourself, but everybody that you work with. So that's what Standing Above the Crowd is all about. It's, you know, it's easy to be in the crowd and just be average. But if you want to be better than average, you have to stand above the crowd and be able to see a little bit further and a little bit clearer.
Yeah, I think there's a similar old saying in Chinese. Right? It's also like similar to standing above the crowd. So, and also it seems like you have a lot of interest in education and also like inspiration to other people.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to want to inspire all the other people?
Well, I came from a family. My mother and father were very, very strong with education. They didn't care about athletics. They didn't care if I played basketball. They wanted me to have a good education. And so when I was in high school, I was always a good student. And I began to play basketball at my last year in high school as a senior. So very late. Many professional basketball players, they begin playing basketball when they're 10 years old, maybe. But I began when I was 16 years old, 17 years old, because education was first. But I knew and I realized that education was going to be my key to success, you know, not basketball. Education could get me into all the doors of various universities and into the businesses and the corporations that I want to work with and talk to. And I had to be educated to do that. And so that's how I learned early. And I look at that with my life and I realize that it worked for me very well. And it will work for any other student as well. If they have their education, they have to graduate from high school. And if you get a chance, they have to go to university and graduate from university. Then the whole world is right there in front of you of opportunities.
So you said that your parents put education on the first emphasis. So did they come in a way when you decided to have basketball as your professional career?
Well, no, because by then I was graduated from university. And so I don't think they realized that basketball was my job. You know, I was a professional. I get paid money. I think my parents thought basketball was just for fun. And I wasn't making money, but I was a professional after university. And so they realized then that this is what I wanted to do. This is what I was going to make my living at for the next several years. And then after basketball is finished, I can go into a more regular, traditional job, like the physical therapy business.
Because the reason I ask is a lot of Chinese parents are what they call the tiger mothers.
Yes, I've heard.
Yeah.
You have tiger mother?
I don't.
I don't.
Okay.
Our parents are very open, but I also see a lot of our peers who have basically their parents gave advice and sometimes like even more direction of their academic and career development.
Yes.
So is there anything you want to share to
Yes.
our Chinese parents?
Well, it's natural for the parents to be concerned about the children because they want what's best for the children, for them to grow up and be successful, stay out of trouble, and do the right things. And so I think the parents have to realize that, especially nowadays with all the technology and all the information on the internet and right at your fingertips, you can do more than one thing now. You can be a very good student, but you can also have recreational time for other things as well. So you don't have to study 15 hours a day like you used to when we were younger.
Like in high school.
Like in high school, yeah. Now you can study maybe 4 or 5 hours a day and still have 4 or 5 hours for music lessons or travel or cultural exchange programs or for sports. And I think the parents need to understand that as well, because they didn't have those opportunities that we have now. Yeah, but we can do more than one thing now, and do them well, do them very well.
Yeah, like you said, as long as we put really hard work into what we like,
Yes,
it's going to be something.
Exactly. But you have to prioritize, and the top priority should always be education. Make sure you get that first. Then you can do all the other things after that, but you got to keep education number one.
So never drop out.
Yeah, don't ever drop out of school. Never. No. That's the worst thing I think a young person can do is drop out of school, because very seldom do they ever come back to school. They drop out, maybe they go get a job, maybe they just don't do anything. And that's too bad, because they're wasting all this tremendous potential and talent they have inside. Yeah, so don't drop out. Please, don't ever drop out.
That's very good to know.
Yeah.
Let's see if there are other questions.
It's a good photo, okay.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
And this will be broadcast to who? Who's your audience?
Basically
Netizens.
students. It's on the platform.
Like a broadcasting platform, so people can watch this live and comment in real time.
For high school students or university
Everyone.
students? Everyone in China or
Yeah.
here?
Everyone in China, but we
The
can
major
do it
audience
here.
is in China.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's pretty early in China now, so maybe that's why it's not really active.
Oh yeah. Oh, is it live?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do live. Oh,
And
okay.
people can watch it later.
Yes. Yeah. It is early in China right now. So. Yeah, I'm going to Beijing in 2 weeks. I'll be there for 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jealous.
I love it. So I'll work with Tsinghua University and the basketball training, everything. Yeah, we have many things to do.
This question might be off the topic, but Tsinghua is having, I forgot what's called, the graduate GX in Belleville. Is that part of what you are working with?
I don't know about GIX. I'm not sure what that is.
That's like cooperation between Tsinghua University and UW. They have a graduate school together.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that last year. That's right. No, I'm not part of that. I usually work with the high school students, and some of them go to Tsinghua University, but many of them cannot go to Tsinghua University because their grades aren't high enough or something. So they come abroad to study. And they come to UW a lot. And in my school, WSU, and schools up and down the West Coast, UCLA, Stanford, USC. So, so I help them go to these schools like that. And we prepare them in China for about 6 months or maybe 1 year with the international classes. So they learn English, they learn about American culture, many things. Yeah. Where are you guys from?
Zhengzhou is in middle of Beijing and Shanghai.
Joyce? I don't know.
Zhengzhou.
Zhengzhou. Oh. And you, same?
I'm from Suzhou,
Suzhou.
which
Oh.
is next to Shanghai.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know Shanghai very well.
Yeah. Okay. So 今天的 VIP 访谈就到这里。请大家在微信上关注我们，我们的微信号是 JoyCan JoyCanAAN， 我们的微博是 JoyCan 卓一迦南。我们下期再见。
Okay.
Let's
Thank
turn
you.
it off.
Yeah.
Or
Thank you for being our VIP today. and
Thank
answering all the
you.
questions.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.
So you try to do this once a week or something?
I'm not really sure. I'm kind of like a temporal intern of her, and she's an intern of Jack.
We have
Oh.
259 audience.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
good.
a lot. No one was asking questions.
Not yet. Well, when they wake up, maybe.
Yeah, I can turn this off.